Alright guys, welcome back to Newbie Productions Virtual Fundraiser. I'm your host Amari Gasson and we are here with EJ Lewis. Woo! Alright, first off we're gonna start with a little Creole. Sakase?
Sakase, man.
Alright, Nambule. Alright, so EJ is someone who's been around with Newbie Productions for a long time. He's been in the production Silence, which is like way back in the day. It's like only the OGs remember type. So we're gonna go into the first question. So what is your connection to Silence and how did the idea start and what is your involvement?
Yeah, so me and Newbie actually went to college together, and one of the semesters I took a course. It was an elective course on crime and chemistry, and basically it helped me to learn about like Red Ribbon Awareness Week, 1989, which started with the death of like FDA agent, I believe it was Kiki Camarena down in Mexico. Read about the story, thought it was really cool, and I personally have been affected by like drugs in my life, but like through family. And so I came to Newbie with the idea, and I was like, hey man, you do some pretty awesome documentaries. You always have great dialogue with people after the fact. So, I think this was kind of during like the start or the hype around the opioid crisis. So I felt like it was a good time to bring it up. And then I just brought him an idea, man. We literally sat down one day. He drew some crazy stuff on a piece of paper. It was like a rocket ship and a moon. He's like, all right, this is where we're going. And that's pretty much how it started. And then, from there, it's funny because I really felt like I was more so just going to give him an idea and hope he just takes it with it. Yeah. But he actually really wanted to get me involved, and to the point where he had me come in to see what he was doing with filming, trying to plan things out with me. And I'm not the best person to organize or get together with, so he really fought hard to make me be a part of the documentary. He wanted it to be more than just an idea for me, but me to be a part of it. So honestly, it was great. And the one thing I really like and appreciate about being part of the documentary was after we, first premiered at Bridgewater, the dialogue we had. I mean, there was hundreds of kids probably in the auditorium, and getting to speak on our own experiences and how that stuff affects us. Like Newbie kind of brings you more into the documentary, so it's more than just an interview. He makes you feel part of the process.
Question: how did you really think like such a small idea, like you guys talking, like it'd blow up, and like you think you'd have kids in the auditorium really questioning, like really trying to get involved and trying to understand and better themselves and like get knowledge on it topic?
Honestly,
how did that feel?
It felt good, man. It felt good. Honestly, I was more proud for like Newbie. The fact that he was able to listen to a friend, take an idea, and turn it into something successful is something that not too many people can do. One, most people don't even listen to your ideas, especially when
they just and then that's
exactly.
it.
Yeah, exactly. And like I don't have any experience when it comes to filmmaking, documentaries, etc. But I watch documentaries, so I say, sure, that's a good idea. And he listened, and when he made his little crazy Rocket Man ship drawing picture, I'm like, man, this boy, he got imagination. But literally not long after that, like, it just went to the work. And even the days where I couldn't meet up with him, he was always working on it, editing it. So seeing it come to fruition, I definitely didn't think it was going to be like as big as it was. But I mean, not even just my stories, everyone else who was involved in it, because drugs affects a lot of people in this country, and just getting to see how he let everyone be part of the process and getting to speak to people, and even people in the audience got to share some of their stories, which we wouldn't have known about. So this great scene to come to fruition. Can't say I expected it.
Yeah, definitely cool to have like an idea which you didn't really think would be this big, like see it prevail and like be great.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, so switching gears, we're gonna go to the upcoming documentary. This documentary is about immigration. Like, why do you think it's so important for the media to tell stories about these people that go through immigrations and things like ICE and all that?
Honestly, I mean, so both my parents are both immigrants. My father immigrated from Haiti. My mother immigrated from Sweden. So I mean, it's always going to be dear and close to me. But having a lot of immigrant friends, working with a lot of immigrant people over the years, in a lot of ways, they really are the backbone of some labor when it comes to our country. They are willing to do jobs that we're not willing to do, and even at times do it for pay that we're not willing to do.
Yep.
So it's always been a hard concept to understand why people have been so against it when they're really helping us do the things that we need.
The things that we complain about. Yeah.
Correct, exactly. The things we wouldn't do anyway. So it's, and then, looking at both of my parents as an example, my father, he does well, my mother, she does well, and just getting to see how they pay their taxes, they pay their dues,
They do what they gotta do.
Exactly, man, exactly.
Yeah.
And, when I turned 21, it was actually the same day of my mother's citizenship ceremony, and getting to see all of the families there. I believe it was at JFK Library at the time.
Yep, at UMass Boston.
Yep. And getting to see like all the families and how excited they were for that one person, like, getting to see them start their dreams. And I've seen how some of my family has brought others up here and helped them become successful contributors to the economy. And so it just, it's hard to see why people have such a disdain against immigration. But we need it in this country.
Lack of knowledge. They don't know what it's. They don't know anybody, or probably don't know the feeling. So it's people like Newbie who definitely like bring light to that topic and just get people aware to like, oh wow, I didn't even think like something like that could happen, or people feel that way, or people come through and like hurt families like that, or separate them and like separate. So I think that's like huge.
Yeah,
So,
no, absolutely, and that's the sad part of it, just where we've gotten to now, because like I said, immigrants are some of the hardest, most caring, loving, best cultured people that we have here, because America is a mixing pot of culture.
Very
so
diverse.
The fact that people have something wrong with immigration doesn't make sense, because this is an immigrated country in general.
Yeah.
And the separation of the children is something that it's tough to conceive, man. We need people like you and Newbie Productions, to help share more light on it.
All right, no doubt, for sure. All right, last question. Why should people donate to Newbie Productions and keep contributing?
To tell their stories, honestly. One thing I really appreciate about Newbie Productions is, other than it just being, him showcasing his skills or being able to go to different, documentary festivals around the country, everything has always been about a dialogue. Even from the very first documentary he put me in, which I had no clue I was going to show up in, it had to do with relationships. We were in a college setting. Relationships is a very weird thing at that time. He shed light. He had a dialogue. He spoke with students. Students got to speak with him. Same thing with the Silence documentary. Drug awareness, or drugs in general, affect a lot of people in this country. People got to speak up and tell their stories. I'm sure this is going to be another great one. Personally, for me, the best dialogue that I got to see was from the Serve and Crime film documentary that he created, and getting to go to Brockton and see like Brockton police speak with people in the community who were very visibly frustrated at the time, and getting to see them contrast but then converse and come up with solutions. It's a lot more than just him showing his documentary. So we need to donate to the cause, because people get to tell their stories, become part of something, and honestly become more in unison.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you,
Love
man.
the answers.
Good luck.
All right, EJ Lewis, everybody. We'll be back with another guest shortly.